turning on the film, what have you seen from it? You know, and how can you kind of combat that stereotype?
Yeah, they do a good job. I think just causing chaos, I think, is like one of their biggest things, you know, getting to the quarterback, the all-out pressures, you know, thinking you got to be in the perfect look, and then you try and, you know, do a lot of different things to get into the right look, and then they do something different, you know. So I think they just do a good job of, you know, just making you feel like you got to do a lot to beat it, you know. So I think it's going to be an awesome challenge. You know, I'm looking forward to going against it because I think it's just going to help me be a better quarterback.
Even though you didn't play the last time, were you able to pull away anything from watching Joe, you know, either during the week or in the game to face that kind of defense?
Yeah, just the way that he approached it, you know, the game plan that we had, I thought was a good one, and he did a good job just, you know, going through his rules and simplifying it in his mind, and you know, just playing fast and just reacting to what he saw.
What do you hope to, I mean, we're down to the home stretch here, these last 4 games. Like, what's your ideal situation, you know, for you personally, other than, you know, obviously you want to win these games, of course, but just what's the goal over these next 4 games?
Yeah, just to keep improving, you know, just keep getting better, you know, just being able to leave games and say, you know, I was able to pull some positive things out that maybe I struggled with early on, and I'm just trying to, you know, keep improving, you know, how can I just keep putting our team in the best situations, you know, and, you know, just feel confident out there and throw it around.
How's the knee doing?
Good, yeah, really well. You know, it hasn't been bothering me.
Both Robert and Mike mentioned your eye placement as being part of the reason for some of the accuracy issues. What do you think you need to do better to kind of get through those reads with the eyes in the right place moving forward, and how much do you think that can help with some of those issues we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I for sure think it can help. You know, there's always improvement in just getting your eyes over there and obviously seeing the throw. But, you know, personally for me, I just need to play loose and, you know, not try and be, you know, such a perfect pocket passing quarterback all the time. You know, I think, and that's the biggest thing is I'm just trying to do so right by the coaches, you know, and what they're asking me to do. And, you know, a part of it I need to just be loose and play free and obviously play within the offense. But, you know, just react and just throw the ball like I've always known how to throw the ball. And, you know, that's what's so cool about, you know, these next games, you know, even what we've gone through, it's, you know, been the struggles of it all. But, you know, I feel like you got to kind of go through all that just to, you know, pull the good stuff from it. And so I'm excited for the challenge just to be able to try, you know, apply that and, you know, just approach every single week the same way and how I can just keep improving.
Do you feel like you're doing that more, playing loose? Do you feel like that's coming now for you?
Yeah, I do. You know, there's glimpses here and there, and it's also just like how can we, you know, keep that going throughout the whole game as well, rather than, you know, when we hit that lull at the beginning of the game or whatever it is, how can we just pull out of that and understand not every series is going to be perfect, and, you know, it's just on to the next, you know, move on and, you know, just come out slinging on the next series. And so I really do think this is a lot of growth coming out of like all these different situations that we've been in, and so I just need to take advantage of them and bank those reps.
They've also talked about you not over-analyzing things. Was that an issue early on, or, you know, is it something that also has lessened?
Well, I think for me it's always been, you know, how can I just, you know, figure out the most efficient way to think about our plays. You know, I've never felt like, you know, going back to college that I was trying to be knowing exactly what was going on every single play. You know, I never really thought I was overthinking things, you know. But in this offense, yeah, there is overthinking, you know, on certain things. And maybe there's things you don't even need to worry about, you know. And I think that's part of it is just understanding what you actually need to know and what you don't. And, you know, that's one thing I'm learning through this process is, you know, what's just kind of wasted space and what can I actually just use and just to play fast and, you know, do my thing that I need to be doing out there.
Actually, I looked it up, and you had one of the highest completion percentages in the country last year on short passes. It was something saying like 79% or something like that. So knowing that, does it make, like, how does it justify what you're doing now? Like, how do you reconcile that? Is it perplexing or frustrating to see that your numbers on short passes are lower?
Yeah, I mean, it's of course frustrating, you know, because they should be the easier ones, right? And I need to have that comfortable feeling of what I had last year, you know, but it's a different situation. I'm throwing to different guys than I was last year. It wasn't the same guys I had for 3 years straight, you know, so it's all just adjusting. It's a new offense, a new scheme. You know, there's new guys rushing now. I got new guys blocking for me, and so it's just adjusting to all of it, you know, and I need to be able just to be comfortable back there and understand it's part of the process. It's going to get better with time.
In college, you probably never faced a tandem like Xavier Howard and Byron Jones in corner. What kind of challenge has that created? How much is that a part of sometimes when it's not as smooth because you're facing the best of the best at the cornerback position?
Yeah, really good players, but I think from an offensive standpoint, we can't be afraid to go after them and test them for sure. I think that's we can't just sit back there and say, hey, just because they're good corners, we can't just not throw the ball at them. So we gotta attack them and just do what we normally do on offense and come out just going after them.
Zach, well, the season has been rough from a record standpoint, everything like that. What has Robert done with you guys to try to make sure that you believe that this is going to change?
Yeah, he's setting the culture up the right way, I believe. I really think he's putting the right pieces in place, and I think someone that's trying to get this fixed for the long run and for a long time, it can't just be a quick fix. You can't just try and pull from different places and try and just have a successful year this year. You need to have the right pieces and let them develop and learn, and that's it. That's the foundation that he's setting here, and so I think he's done a great job of just understanding that we have to have a team that everybody's bought in on the same thing, and we're all working for the same thing, and he's understanding of who should be here and the adjustments that we have to make in the future. And I think it's cool to have a coach that sets a good leadership and culture like that, because we all know what we're working for, and the optimism we have looking forward to the future as well.
How has it worked with, early in the year you had Mike on the sideline, now of course he's upstairs. How have you adjusted to that different setup?
Yeah, I really feel like it hasn't been much different. I think it's I assume it's probably better for him. I personally don't have a preference either way. I think Coach Calabrese and Kavanaugh do an awesome job on the sideline, and I really don't think it hinders or anything in any way.
With the figuring out what information is useful and what's not, I think you had mentioned when Joe Flacco got here that just watching him in practice, the way he was able to simplify stuff is something that you could learn from. So since then, what has he been able to kind of tell you about that, and how has that kind of maybe changed your process? Yeah,
that exact thing. Football is a very complicated game, and I think in the way that coaches break it down, they're here very late every single night, breaking down every single little thing that defenses do, right? But that's not what a quarterback should ever be worried about. You shouldn't be sitting there analyzing data that coaches are breaking down. You should have, keys that tell you, maybe most likely what you're expecting here in this situation, but you're not 100%. So there has to be that reactive and feel part of, hey, this is what we're thinking, so this is why we're going to call this play. But if you get something else, how can you simplify and go through your reads? It's hard to play fast when you're overanalyzing everything, and that's why most of calling a game for a coach comes in their prep work and setting things up beforehand. And that's why being a quarterback, it can't be like that. You need to go out there and play fast.
You mentioned the coaches on the sideline you have in Kavanaugh and Calabrese and LaFleur upstairs. What is John Beck's role in practice and on game day?
Yeah, really, he's just that guy I kind of look to for advice and the ability to go over things and talk through things and kind of what I'm thinking or feeling on certain throws. Or, the cool thing is he's kind of, I think, experienced all this in his own way, and so it's a cool process to be able to go through. But it's a different role than what Calabrese and Kavanaugh have, and I think that's what makes the whole thing special. Is I feel like it's a guy I can talk to about anything. He's in there in meetings and listening to the same thing. So it's definitely cool to have someone to just kind of bounce ideas and things off of.
Zach, I guess for me, just having an outside, ignorant point of view on it all, it does seem like there's a lot of people talking to you now, right? Because you have Mike talking to you, Kavanaugh's talking to you, Calabrese is talking to you, and then also Beck is talking to you. Does it sometimes get overwhelming when there's that many voices going into your head, and wouldn't it potentially be simpler if there was just one guy you were talking to?
Yeah, and that's what's cool about the whole thing, right, is that's what you would think. But the cool thing is, I would say Calabrese and Kavanaugh and Coach LaFleur are always bouncing the same exact ideas. They're not going to push something unless they agree, and OC always trumps. If one guy's saying something, you got to listen to what the OC is saying. And most of the time they're always on the same page anyways, but that's something we always talk about. They're always saying the same things, which is cool. So it's like I get to hear the same message. John isn't really there, maybe necessarily telling me how to do something like, hey, they said it this way, but really do it this way. John, that's not what John's for. John's there kind of talking through the process of maybe how to look at something and how I should approach it, because of what they had said, being able to, I guess the way you look at something, John is there for that kind of stuff. And then also just to talk through like, hey, when he said this, what did you think he kind of meant, kind of thing. And so it's a cool relationship that I have with all of them, and I don't feel like it's too much at all. I actually really enjoy the room that we have.
Everybody good?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Maybe